Okay, a lot of people have been pestering me to do this, so I've decided I'll do it. I'm Jim, the flexitarian chef. I'm an old restaurateur and formerly a head chef. I gave up the hospitality game years ago, as many people who've been in it would know. It's not a great lifestyle, but I still love to cook. And about 6 months ago, I took up a flexitarian lifestyle. That's eating a plant-based diet pretty much all the time. In my case, 95 to 98% of the time, I now eat plant-based food for my health. I feel much better. I've lost weight. My reflux problems have gone away. I've got more energy. I sleep better. And frankly, I'm loving the food. I've been able to experiment a lot and use my previous skills to produce some pretty good plant-based stuff. Now, a lot of people have asked me to do this, so I'm going to do it. My videos won't be all that flashy or glitzy. They're going to be pretty amateurish, but the cooking will be okay. I'm also going to be here not just to teach you how to do plant-based and vegan cooking. I'm going to teach you how to cook. You don't need recipes to cook. They're a guideline, but I'll show you how you work with taste to work out what is good and what will taste good. So let's get on with it. I'll head to the kitchen. Okay, we're going to start off with a really simple one. We're going to start with textured vegetable protein. I'm going to do a really quick chili. Not with a million different ingredients. A really quick, simple chili that you can whip up in cooking time, 10 minutes with a bit of simmering time. It's done. The whole lot's done in half an hour. Okay, textured vegetable protein. Now this stuff is meat for vegans and vegetarians and really for anybody. It's got a great meaty texture. It's a dry product. To get some flavour in it, needs to be rehydrated with some seasoning, and I use just a good vegan beef stock. The beauty of this stuff is it's got a very meaty texture, it's got no fat, no cholesterol. Once rehydrated, it's got the same protein as actual minced beef, and the added benefit is it's full of fibre. So what we'll do with this, we'll tip in about a half a cup. Yeah, that's about half a cup, a little bit more for good luck. Now, as I said, this stuff's got no flavour, no taste whatsoever. So because this is going to be a beef-based dish, we're going to give it some beef flavour. And don't be shy with this stuff. It adds flavour. A good, really heaped teaspoon, and chuck it over the hot water machine and get that rehydrating. And then we'll get cracking with the recipe. Okay, as I said, this is a really simple chili. So, pot on, turn it on. We'll take her up to about a medium heat. On this we'll go to about the 1000 watt setting. Beauty of these induction cookers, they get red hot in no time whatsoever. So, fairly straightforward, just a little dash of oil, not too much, that's plenty. Now in there, some onions that have already been chopped. These are actually ones you buy from the supermarket frozen. I'm a great believer here, that sizzle. I'm a great believer in why do the hard yards when someone else is prepared to do it for you. Cooking doesn't have to be hard work. You cut corners where you can. Give it a good blob of chilli, probably teaspoon or thereabouts. So we're just going to quickly saute this. We don't want to brown it. We're not looking for a brown meat flavour here. Now I'll just come back to the TVP. That's now rehydrating the water. That'll take 10 or 15 minutes to fully absorb. Let's crank that up a little bit more. I'm going to give it a bit. I've only been using this induction cooker for a fairly short time, so I'm still experimenting with what settings to put it on. That's really going crazy. Just come back a little. And that's about all you want to do. You really just want to get those onions slightly softened, slightly sautéed. We're not looking for brown onion flavour, as I said. And then in with the other ingredients. Chopped capsicum, some of you might know them as bell peppers. In they go. Give them a bit of a stir around. It's not going to touch dry, it's going to give it a little bit more oil. This is what you do with cooking. You go by, you look at it, you see what it needs. A little bit more oil there. Take that heat off a little bit. Now, mushrooms. You wouldn't typically put mushrooms in chili. We're talking here about plant-based food. It needs help. And when you're trying to cook something that's got a bit of a meaty flavour to it, mushrooms are your best friend. And we're just going to give those a little bit longer. Whilst I'm doing that, I'll come back to the TVP. You can see it's already absorbing the beef stock, the vegan beef stock. It's swelling up. And it really develops a meaty texture. If you cook your dishes right with this, you'll really find that most people can't pick it from minced beef. That's looking good. Give this mix another bit of a stir. And that's all. You sort of look at it, starting to soften. Mushrooms are starting to collapse a little bit. That's about all we want to do at this stage. What we'll do now, I'll just pause for a second. Just had to run out to my car to get my tomato paste out of the boot of my car. I'm doing this in the kitchen. It's my business. And I've forgotten to bring the tomato paste in. Okay, that's about where we want it. So now, in with a bit of water. Just enough to cover the bottom of the pan and the ingredients. Stir it in, pick up all the bits and pieces off the base of the pan. There's a lot of flavour there. Now, we go in with some tomato paste. Just penny old tomato paste. This is just a cheap one from the Woolworths, our local supermarket here in Australia. You want to go in with about 3 good blobs like that. Crank the heat up a little. Work that in. Crank the heat right up. Turn the burner on full. You get a bit of boiling action happening here. Now, to that, we're going to add. Let's find another spoon. We're going to add some more beef booster, or beef stock powder. Beef booster is a term we use in the restaurant game. When a dish like this naturally cooks with minced beef, some of the beef flavour will leach out into the sauce. Now with your TVP, it hasn't got an excess beefy flavour to start with. So we balance that up with, you know, about that much beef stock powder. And stir that in. It's looking good. Now, critical ingredients, but spilt them all over the place. Be very careful with it. Oregano. Just simple, dried oregano. Turn that down a little bit. You only want a tiny bit. Oregano adds a lot of flavour, but it can take over, and that's about it. That's as much as you really want. Same with cumin. Essential for a good chilli, but again, too much, and it is going to take over and overpower everything. About that, about all you need. In with that. And now, the one you're all going to say, why did you do that? Sugar. Sugar, we're going to go with the fair issue to start with. Sugar in any tomato-based dish is essential. And some people will tell you it's to balance the acidity. That's nonsense. Sugar's neither acidic nor alkaline. It's a neutral, totally neutral product. What it's doing is taking the tang out of the tomatoes, that edge that tomatoes can have, but it also brings out a more ripe, fruity taste to them. So what we're going to do now is leave that to simmer away. I'm going to pop the lid on, Simmer that away for about 15-20 minutes, then we'll come back and finish it off. I forgot to mention one critical ingredient in chilli, and that is chilli. I always use the chilli powder. This is a pretty hot version, but I do like it reasonably spicy. So that's to my taste. But all your chilies will vary. You can use some sambalolak, you can use fresh ground chilli if you like, but as I said, trying to make this quick and easy. Okay, we'll just let that simmer away for a while. Okay, that's had about 15 minutes. Possibly could do with it a little bit longer, but it is very late Friday afternoon. I've had a long week at work, and as soon as I've done this, I'm heading home to have a beer. Now, once it gets to that stage, really thickened up. See how glossy it is? Now, into the TVP. That's your meat. Quick stir. Now, the reason we add TVP at the end is, unlike minced beef, you don't want to simmer it away. It will lose some texture if simmered for a long time. So it's best added right at the very end. Let it take on the flavours. And just stir it all through. And at this point, it's time to taste it. Because tasting is cooking. So we get a little bit. Good. But, and this is where you've got to taste, think, do a little bit more tomato paste, another big wodge like that. Then I'll cook back in no time. Needs a touch more sugar. I'm going to go with about that, and with that, and a little bit of Harold Holt. That's salt. If you don't understand the Australian vernacular, rhyming slang is a big part of our culture. And Harold Holt was a Prime Minister of ours who theoretically got about that much salt, maybe a little bit more. Harold Holt was apparently taken by aliens or stolen by a Chinese submarine back in about 1967 when he disappeared. Truth was, he drowned off Cheviot Beach in Victoria, but people being what they are, thought all sorts of terrible things had happened. Now, one final taste. That's about how I like my chilli. Not too firm, not too runny. And with this, if you cook it down and you've lost too much fluid, it looks a bit wet, it looks a bit dry rather, just add a bit more water. Yep, that's spot on. And that's how you do it. Taste, adjust, fix, and you get it right. Here, my friends, is a chilli, quick and easy. The most ardent meat eater probably wouldn't know they weren't eating meat in that. And that's sort of where I come from with the flexitarian thing. It's good for the environment, it's great for our health, it's great for the animals. But I'm someone who still eats meat occasionally, so I can tell you what tastes like meat and what doesn't. Anyway, that's it for the moment. Be back soon with another one. Bye.